This is Michael Draven. They call me Battleborn, and I'm here drinking at Moe's.
This is Drinkinatmos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's all so mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkinatmos, where we don't quit. Drinkinatmos, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, know it's a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drainamos, just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Moe's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinking at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm continues to be a pain in the ass. As if other things aren't already enough of a pain in my damn body right now. But anyways, today I'm excited to have with me Battleborn Michael Draven. How you doing?
Doing all right, sir. How about yourself?
Well, better than I was last weekend, where I was not feeling the best. I
Oh,
tell you that.
I'm kind of off the tail end of mine, so I'm there with you.
Yeah. Oh God. Like, I don't know. I woke up and like I would try to breathe out of my nose, and then my throat felt scratchy.
Mm,
So like I was having to breathe out my mouth for like 2 days.
yep.
Ugh, it was not fun. But yeah, I'm on the mend there. But see, I told you about tangents. I told you about the damn tangent. But anyways, first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you making the leap into wrestling? Because I know your leap into wrestling has been recent, but like I told you, I've had people from all different experience levels on the show. I love hearing everybody's story.
Well, honestly, I was born in 1980, so you
Same.
know, Hulk Hogan, those guys. But one of my earliest memories that I vaguely remember was my grandfather. He was a big Dick the Bruiser fan, and he had this thing where it was when he was on, he was in his chair with two Michelob or not Michelobes, old Milwaukee's,
Old Milwaukee, yeah.
two old Milwaukee's, and it was just shut the hell up. Dick the Bruiser's on, and back in that generation, like it's not much different than hardcore, sports, football fans or baseball fans. I mean, Dick the Bruiser was his dude, and oh yeah, it was real to him as but I remember watching Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The thing is, it's with Hulk Hogan. I mean, yeah, like most kids, I was all about Hulk Hogan, but really, it was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Macho Man, Demolition. The Rockers when they came in, Legion of
I was a
Doom.
Legion of Doom. I was going to say those were my dudes back then.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And Macho Man, of course, oh yeah,
Step into a Slim Jim.
yep, yep. And I'm sorry, like I know he got a lot of flack for how his behavior was toward, but his character, the way he presented himself, was so unique. There's not very many people, at least in that era, that could do what he did, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Oh yeah, no, there. You could say what you want about personal endeavors there, but yeah, when you talk about back then and bringing wrestling to the point that it got and to go from where it was able to go from there,
mhm.
if it wasn't Hogan getting that ball rolling, I mean, who knows?
And Yokozuna was another one that I enjoyed watching. A guy that
Oh, dude.
size and can move the way that he could move. I mean, you look at Bray Wyatt, same thing. A
Mm.
guy that size that can, that dude was lightning in a bottle. I just loved it.
If there was a passing in wrestling that caught me like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
Bray's right there.
Bray, yeah,
Not that much younger than you and I when it freaking happened. It
36
was
years old, I do believe.
like holy, all right, I'm gonna switch up some stuff.
Yep, yep.
But oh god, tangent alert. You brought up Yokozuna. That brought up another damn memory from my first ever wrestling show I ever went to. Imagine little third grader me getting the best Christmas present I ever freaking got.
Mm-hmm.
Like floor seats to my first ever wrestling show, right near the entrance. And one of the matches, a personal favorite of mine, Big Boss Man,
Mm.
against Yokozuna. And being a little third grader, just standing there at the entrance, and then here's walking by that mountain of a dude, and I'm like,
Yeah, right.
like I wanted to run, but I couldn't move.
He'd have caught you.
No, he probably would have.
Yeah. So that was, as a kid, Hart Foundation, Bret Hart. I'm a huge Undertaker mark for sure. Undertaker, Survivor Series 1990. I watched that. I remember watching it to this day, and him coming out and was just so enamored with the the Undertaker, like his vibe and everything. And
Oh yeah.
as you learn who Mark Calloway was, with the very scraps that you would get, um, you know, he was a guy that, man, the world needs more of him, as
The
far as I'm
Ministry
concerned.
of Darkness version of him scared the ever loving shit. Like I'm not even afraid to admit, like at that point, I kind of had the inklings of stage, what performance, whatever. But dude, that version of that character scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, he's my guy. He's something as a professional wrestler I want to try to strive to be, as far as his presence,
Mm.
not character, but just as a pro wrestler.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah. I
for
mean,
sure.
me, I got some of my one behind me, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Dude, like we talked a little bit about before recording, either not trying not to fanboy out or sometimes, and I love my Dr. Pepper, but it gives me the burps like crazy. But
So I'm drinking milk.
I probably should drink a little more of that. But Stone Cold, I swear if I ever got to actually meet him, I don't know if I'd be able to get a damn word out.
Ugh.
Just the
He's
way I have him built up in my head. It's
right.
just like, I be in a line, I'd be like, oh my God, that's actually him. And I'd just be like,
Right.
and I'd be like, oh, I'd make the joke. Yeah, use your words, kid. Oh God, yeah, no, all time favorite. So I can understand you there, even with Undertaker. I mean, talk about one of the masters of knowing when to adapt, but still keeping enough of a similarity there that it's not like just a complete flip.
Right.
Oh yeah, awesome stuff. Now I wanted to another. Well, you got a couple of pretty good stories that I wanted to go over tonight, and one of them, you know what? I don't think you actually told me until last night. But the fact of being a cancer survivor, like that's like I have a friend of mine that in wrestling down in San Diego, actually, where I was stationed, that he got into a remission, but he's battling it again. But he's already received word that here within the next year or so he should be able to get back in the ring. So,
Nice. That's awesome.
but you as a cancer survivor, that's a story that's like, you know, when you first get the news, it's like, oh, I can imagine like, oh shit.
So, well, let's kind of rewind that. So
Yeah,
let's
rewind it though.
let's so my nickname is Battleborn. And there's several different meanings behind it. You can go historical, you can go fantasy, whatever. But the basis of Battleborn is you were born to a life of struggle, um, you, and you keep going. So back in 2016, I was not a very good place, and I actually attempted suicide. And it was my wife that brought me back, as far as finding a reason, like finding what it was. Come 2018, she got cancer. She got stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And at the time, I was working at a factory that was producing transmissions and everything, and I was working so much and watching her, trying to be there for her, and watching her go through this and just fighting. I fought literally my entire life for just about anything and everything, but for me, watching her, it was like that was something different.
Yeah.
Then come 2020, which was when I was diagnosed, I was lucky. It had just entered into stage 1, so it wasn't
Yeah, not
super
very far
crazy.
along.
I joke. I say I like to tell people I had stage 1 ass cancer because that's literally what it was. I had stage 1 rectal cancer. And it was, I was having some problems. Um, and trying to be a tough guy, being a soldier, like, I'm just bleeding a little bit. That's fine. I'll live. And until it got to a point where I was in so much pain I couldn't even move. Um, so my wife was like, "All right, stop being an asshole. Go get into we need to get you checked." So they did the first examination. Then they went on to the colonoscopy, found it, got most of it, right then and there. Like, lucky.
That's good right there.
Right. So, but there was still some left. So I didn't go through chemo. I was lucky. My wife had to go through
Yeah.
chemo, radiation. I remember the day that she was in the hospital. She'd gotten real sick. She was in the hospital and her kidneys just crashed. Watching all that was something. So when people ask, "Oh man, I heard you got cancer." Yeah, I did. And I was lucky. I just sat on a chair with lasers, shot in my ass. Literally, that's all it was. She went through the whole thing. She's more of a badass than I will ever be.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
No, those that have gone through, some of the later stage cancers and come out on the better
mhm.
end of it, I fully with you. Some of the most badass people out there, because that
Yeah,
is some heavy duty shit.
I will never. I did not want no fuss when I had it. Like, I literally, if people would call me up, "Oh, we're calling check," stop it. Like, because to me, like, I was still able to work to a point. I was still able, I give that kind of attention and affection to people who are not able. And that's, I actually have a picture that I saved. My wife isn't as much of a gamer as I am, but she loved the original Mario Brothers, especially Mario 3, Super Mario 3. And so you remember they had those mini consoles, mini NES, regular NES. So I bought
Oh
one
yeah.
for her, and I got a picture of her, and she's bald from the hair loss, and she's got a smile on her face, and it was one of the first times during that whole ordeal that she was smiling, and I got that picture. I will never share it with anybody else. That's just for me, but like
Oh yeah.
just the joy she had in that moment there. She wasn't in a lot of pain. She wasn't feeling sick. She was in uh, kind of like I would like to think she kind of thought back to her childhood playing
Mm.
Super Mario 3 and that's what
Oh
she
yeah.
was in, man. One of the best
That's
things
awesome.
I've ever seen. Yeah.
That is awesome. And you know, you brought up soldier. I mean, me, Navy veteran, we got to, the whole veteran thing in common. We got to stick together other than when it's the Army Navy game. But
Yeah.
that's a whole nother time.
Yeah, I served 6 years in the army. Well, so I started in the National Guard. I enlisted at 17 years old. Went through the delayed entry program. The moment that I graduated high school, I went to AIT, went active duty. Um, Now you might think that I went straight to the army. No, that's not what I did. I actually went into the Navy, and I wasn't even in 6 months. I left because during my training, I had gotten a phone call while I was at Great Lakes for boot camp. I had gotten a phone call from the regional commander or whatever it is for the recruiters. My recruiter's boss essentially calls me and a few others from that area, and had asked us if we were promised anything like specific. And I'm like, yeah, I was told I was going to be a master at arms, which is the Navy version of police, but not right.
Yeah.
He had told me that once I got to whatever duty station I was supposed to go to, that I would immediately report for training as a master at arms. That was going to be my MOS. Turns out that's not an MOS in the Navy. So when all that was revealed, they gave me a choice. So we know you were already enlisted. Do you want to go back to the National Guard? I'm like, no, I still want to go active duty, but I don't want to stay in the Navy. So they kind of worked whatever, and I reported to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and
So
so,
we're okay. So when you went through that, still would have. Well, I'm trying to remember when they closed down the other stuff, but it would have still just been Great Lakes, right?
RTC Great Lakes. It was when I went there. I went to boot camp there. I'm wanting to say it was. Oh, I was there when Y2K was you know
Ah,
it was going to be 2000 and the world was going to end.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I was at boot camp at that time.
yeah. I
So
went. God, it was June of one 2008. Yeah, 2008. Because I remember the recruiter had asked me if he had the paperwork there right then, what would it take for me to sign? And I had a brother getting ready to graduate high school, a sister getting ready to graduate college. I said, those two graduations, I need to be there.
mhm.
Left the meeting within, I'd say, maybe half an hour of them making the hour drive back. I get a phone call, you're good to go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Although when I went to MEPS, I was thankful that I had them there because MEPS tried to get me to leave sooner.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, I had the recruiter standing right behind me. I'm like, tell them, please,
yeah.
because I would have walked right out of MEPS. Like, I'm not even kidding. I haven't signed shit at that point.
Yeah, I don't know what recruiter you had. My recruiter was about as bare bones as you could possibly get. He was I was lucky. He didn't fabricate nothing. He didn't over exaggerate nothing. This is what he told you you're gonna expect in boot camp. This is what you're going to, he didn't give me a whole lot of fantasy. He
Yeah.
basically said the moment because I went to Fort Benning for my boot camp for the Army and Sand Hill, like they still had the old buildings still up. And he told me when they open up the doors of that cattle truck, and it was a legitimate cattle truck that I was up close and personal with guys I didn't really want to be, but um, he said, your best bet is to look at the point of designation you are supposed to go and you run and you don't fall. If you fall, you're going to get eaten alive. And uh, he had me so prepared for that. He didn't, like, oh man, it's going to be easy breezy. No, he says, you're
Oh
either going
no,
to
yeah, I'm with you there. As far as Navy boot
back when
camp.
drill sergeants used to yell at, well, I mean, I guess they're starting to do that now, but like I remember the moment I sat down, I drill sergeant walked right by me and he stops, looks at me again. He goes, I know you. You look familiar. Did I screw your mom? Are you my kid? Like just
Oh man, they still, at least when I went through, which wasn't even that long ago. Yeah, no, they'll still do that stuff. But I kid you not, like I had in my head the images of some of the crazy boot camp videos you see on YouTube and stuff of the day people get there and that first arrival, somebody getting on the bus screaming their head off, get
yep,
the fuck off my, and
yep.
that's what I had in my head. And I don't know if it, like, certain groups get what, but or if, like, when I got there we were one of the last groups to get there for the freaking day. But
Prom dates.
when,
That's what we'd call them in the army. Prom dates.
but when we didn't get that, that almost scared me more, because I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Did you have somebody in your unit? Did you ever have? Well, the Marines would call them Gomer Piles. Um, Someone who just wasn't getting it. Do you have one of
No.
those? So I wasn't that guy, but we had some. We had one guy that he phased out literally within the second week. He was a bigot.
Before out of even processing days.
Like no, so we just got done with
Mm.
processing, arrived, and it was we'd been in barracks 3 or 4 days, and because my senior drill sergeant was a black man, and he had a problem with that. One of those idiots, and made some remarks I'm not going to repeat. We were given an about face, and back then, drill sergeants were not allowed to touch you, but this kid deserved to be touched, and he got touched, and we didn't see it. We were looking at a brick wall, but I wasn't one of those. But I was the shortest. I'm 5'7", dude. I'm 5'7", and at that time I was probably 135 pounds. So I was the smallest guy in my unit. So they had this thing where they would yell out, "Hey Smurf, sing me a song," and I'd have to go la 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 la, and then
Oh god.
they would say Smurf Village, and the entire platoon would have to do it. Oh my god!
Oh man. Oh god. Now we're you know what, this is just going to be a whole segment right here, because goddamn, I can have my stories about boot camp before we were even out of processing days. I'm on the other end of the berthing and I see somebody walking up to one of the drill instructors. I find out, well, Navy RDCs, but I see one of them walking up to him and I'm like, what's going on there? Turns out the kid was so desperate to get home, he told the RDC, if I don't get to go home right now, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh,
They let him go home.
yep.
And I got lucky. I was on my RDC's good side, because you know the whole thing about falling asleep at boot camp. You're going to get, well, one time I apparently nodded off, didn't even realize it until I looked up and my RDC was staring right at me.
Yep.
He just said, "You know what to do." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Yes, petty officer." Get up, push-ups for maybe a minute. He's like, "You're good." I'm like, "Yes, petty officer." Because I was not wanting to ask him, "Are you sure?" You like they tell you you're done. You're done. You just, but
I got to
I
be
still,
honest, man. Navy boot camp, because I went through the armies and then I went through the navies, and it, it's something when they, oh, you think you're Mr. Tough Guy? Well, why don't you give me 50 push-ups? Okay. you
yeah,
know,
no,
it,
the Navy's one. I'll even admit it. Physically, not that hard.
not at all.
Physically,
Was
not
nothing.
that damn hard. More of a mind fuck than anything.
Oh yeah, especially that mock ship that you had to go through,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and it was rocket back and forth, and did it rocket back and forth? That, well, at least
Uh,
that one section.
well, at the time, like they had like a whole complete mock up that like
Yep.
in that big ass building. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, so that was back. Wow. I was trying to remember how fucking old that damn thing was, but I still remember, you know, the RDCs, and I'm sure drill instructors in the other branches, same situation.
Right.
That when you're in formation and you're marching, they take how your formation they want it. I
Oh,
know perfection is not possible, but they want it. They want that formation fucking perfect.
yep.
And if somebody's gonna fuck it up, they're gonna have their ass.
Yep.
Well, apparently I hadn't tied my shoes well enough that there was two people that I heard behind me. One was egging the other on to step on my shoelaces to try to trip
Hmm.
me up, fuck up the
Yep.
formation. Well, I just kept going, and every time I just yanked my foot out from under,
Yep.
and then I find out later that somebody else behind them in the formation was like, they went to the RDCs to tell them, and then I got called in, and the RDCs had already just told me the whole damn story,
Hmm.
and they said they just wanted to hear it from me. I'm like, well, you already heard all of it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I just told them I was just going to leave it to them being assholes, and they're like, yeah, we should have known. No trouble out of Moore's in there. And then before I know it, they're practically like oh god, getting smoked. Yeah, they were getting smoked right in front of me and having to apologize. And then I'm having people coming up to me asking if I ratted them out. And I'm like, somebody already did that.
Right. You.
They just said they wanted to hear it from me, and all I told them was they had already heard the dang story. So I didn't have to rat anybody out.
What was it? Did you have any weird like punishments for their for your petty officers to mess with you? I didn't have that. Like I
Not really.
once they couldn't break me by doing push-ups, whatever, they just left me alone. Um, but no, so for me it was I had to chase the leaf.
Oh, we've heard stories
Oh,
about
I've
some of
done that. So and what this so we had a one of the drill sergeants would say, I had messed up. Oh, I just missed the goal score of my PT that week. And he's like, all right, you're getting lazy on me. And they wouldn't say my actual shoot name right. It was they would put the Mac instead of the Mick, and I hated it. And so he decided, he goes, my daughter has this summer project and she needs a certain type of leaf, and it's right over there. Mind you, this is early July. So in Georgia, plenty of trees, full of leaves. And he says, "You see it? I think so, drill sergeant. Run as fast as you can. Grab that leaf." I ran, grab that
You
leaf.
got the wrong one.
You got the oh, that he make me do however push-ups. I did that on a Sunday for 3 hours.
Oh God.
3 hours.
I've heard we've heard stories. Like I know there was a particular RDC at Navy boot camp that at with the speakers in the compartment for their division, anytime they're in their division caught on quick, that
Mhm.
every time they were about to get smoked, the Imperial Death March from Star Wars started playing.
Oh my
Yeah. So we heard about that guy. And I so
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
Oh man, some great stuff. But yeah, I like I said, I got lucky I was on my RDC's good side. There two moments to round off this topic because the friggin' tangents. But one was the we had one of our three RDCs was uh, just getting off of some leave from having graduated a previous division.
Mhm.
And the first day coming back in, we heard this guy was like a pit bull. Well,
Okay.
we kid you not, lights on. I see this guy just like full on zooming in right on this one kid. I'm like, shit. And that first night we got in, they say, you got about an hour. Take advantage of it because the next night or two you're not getting shit.
Yep.
I swear it didn't feel like my head was down on that pillow for more than 5 minutes. Light on, get the fuck up. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay. And then one of my RDCs, I wish I remembered the name and I gotta find the fucking book that I have the information in. But his voice sounded like when he really got going, his voice sounded like oh god, Arlie Ermy from the Full Metal Jacket or whatever that fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
He sounded
Yeah.
like that guy,
Did he really?
and he caught on that there would be times that some of us would do impressions of him. He was like, "Make it look pretty," and then he literally. I remember one time in particular, he knew about it, and
Yeah.
he was about to get to the point where he was going to say it, and he just looked around and said, "All right, do it." Everybody said he just laughed his ass off.
Oh
The one and
man.
only time I saw that guy laugh the entire damn time.
Yep. You had to
Great.
earn that one.
Oh yeah, we earned that one. Oh man, great. So, we could do a whole freaking episode just on these stories.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to wrestling, you're getting your start now,
Mhm.
and wanted to give you some chances to talk about some of the promotions that you've been working for. I know one that I saw the video for is one that, despite over 400 episodes now, I'm still learning about new places.
Mhm.
But Funkified Wrestling Federation, I'm like, that's one no offense to them, I haven't heard of them yet. And I'm, the amount of wrestling I have to watch for this show, stuff's bound to slip by me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So FWF is located in Warsaw, Indiana. The promoter is Brian Johnson. He used to wrestle under Lightning Bolt. Brian Johnson, I do believe. A lot of good guys in there. like any promotion, people have their issues with it and whatever. You know, getting into pro wrestling, it was literally like that was never an intention of mine. It really wasn't. After my whole cancer thing, I made a choice that I was going to start living life because, like we had said, it was you never know. Talk about Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt. That's another one. Like that's you never know. So I reached out to FWF because I actually own a martial arts school, and I was looking to sponsor. And him and I started talking. We both grew up on the same genre of wrestling, and with how I trained, because my martial arts, I didn't do any sports stuff. Like I did, you see it in movies all the time, but I do the real thing of I'm hitting telephone poles and trees and training in a way that's different. And he's like, if he could do that, you ever thought about being a pro wrestler? I'm like, no. I'm 43 at this time. I'm 43 years old. I had zero. Um, but he's like, give it a shot. So I went to my first training session, got into it, and I'm like, I can do this. Uh, but FWF is ran out of Warsaw. We've had a since I've been there, we've had a couple shows in Fort Wayne at Pierre's. Um, but yeah, we stick to Warsaw. We're trying to get it out there because it's family friendly. There's no raunchy, women in lingerie or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to think we're past the brawn panties matches days.
I guess there's still a lot of independent promotions out there. I've not seen them personally, and I've not been to a promotion that has it, but apparently that's still a thing. The strip down, like I'm whatever. It's not my
Yeah.
thing, but whatever. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Good family friendly stuff. And I'll admit I like the hardcore, deathmatch style stuff too. But for a guy that's still a relatively new parent and wanting to, maybe when my son gets to the age where he can actually somewhat understand what he's watching with his dad, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to have some stuff to kind of ease him in instead of just that old adage of teaching a kid how to swim, you just go ahead and throw him in the damn lake.
How was that
i
kid?
I don't want to do that with
Yeah.
wrestling with him. Ease him in, some of the family friendly stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then if he wants to end up sitting down and sometime later and watching some of the stuff that his dad's really into, then maybe down the road.
Yeah.
But don't tell mother. Oh gosh, I've watched some deathmatch stuff with her, and I don't think she realized what she was sitting down to watch with me but all of a sudden she sees carpet strips and she's like, oh my God. Like,
Mm-hmm. I was just working a show. I'm not as a wrestler, behind the scenes,
yeah.
GLWA out of
Oh
Fulton,
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah.
And one of the matches, it was a seasons beatings match. And one of the things you could do is you got to pick a present. One of these presents had freaking Legos in it.
Oh
And the
geez.
dude was getting slammed on the Legos. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, nope.
I don't even want to imagine what that feels like.
No. I've oh, I've accidentally stepped on them before. I don't imagine me wanting to purposely getting thrown onto them.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And he flat backed it too. That was the crazy part. Like there was no he flat backed. I'm like, there's Lego stuck in his back. He's gonna have those surgically removed.
Oh God, I've seen videos of some of the stuff of people having to get like vice grips to try to get stuff.
Oh, like New Jack and all that stuff. Sabu's super gluing his stuff.
I'm
Oh,
I got I got all the respect in the world for those guys. And also one that I was thinking about was actually a guy that's on my bucket list to actually get on the show, Matt Tremont. I,
okay. Yeah.
I saw one of him, like I forget what the damn name of the thing he had stuck in his head, but like you could literally see the skin on his head just pulling along with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was using it was those pliers to pull, I do believe. Like he was trying to
yeah,
get that thing was embedded in there good.
yo, yeah, it got in there good. But yeah,
Uh,
oh, I've seen some crazy stuff. But yeah, no, Funk Fight sounds like a promotion that hell, if I ever got out there, I wouldn't mind. Fuck, I about knock some shit over here. But sounds like something I would have fun watching.
Absolutely. Like any independent promotion, we have sometimes we get big crowds, sometimes we get small crowds. But I will say this: the talent that we have, it's amazing. The guy when I came in, not knowing a thing, and especially 43 years old, I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot of gruff. Oh, you need to go. You're too old. You're this. The guys who are training me from there, Cletus Farmer, David Knight, those guys, Simon Socrates, these guys took me under their wing. Tank Perkins is another one. Took me under their wing and showed me that you know you may not be. I'm a realist. Would it be awesome if I could ever get to WWE level at my age? Yeah, but in the same breath, I'm a realist. I know just doing what I'm doing is good enough.
Oh yeah, no, I
But
get you there.
we are all about the family entertainment. We want you know where we live. There's not a whole lot of things to do outside of going to the movies. We got a couple bowling alleys, but something unique, something different, to try and get people like, hey, try this out. It's I've brought people in to come watch a show that they've never even watched a wrestling show ever. And they're like, that's the best time I've had. It's either it was so cool with the athleticism or that was about the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And I want to see it again. It's something, but no, it's a
Yeah,
great
no,
promotion.
oh yeah, no, something great there. Now I didn't end up because we got introduced through a mutual friend. I didn't get too many more promotions, but I know independent wrestling. You're more often than not, you're not working just the one place.
Yes. So yeah, our mutual friend Tyler Shade, shout out to
Oh yeah,
Tyler out
shout out to
there.
him, dude. Love that guy.
He's so awesome
Oh yeah.
on that mic. Yeah, so I actually met him through FWF. He's one of our ring announcers that comes in on occasion. But no, like I'm currently booked at WPW Warrior Pro Wrestling down in Danville, Indiana. It's about a half hour southwest of Indianapolis. Um, Promotions very low key, um, ran very well. Uh, they take care of their own. Very similar to FWF in a lot of ways, where it's family entertainment. It's about playing to the kids and trying to draw up a crowd. Um, and then I also just started wrestling for a very new promotion, Midwest Premier Wrestling.
Okay.
Um, yep, they're a fledgling company. The promoter Rob Davidson, he's amazing. The booker Alex Race, they're great guys, and I am very excited to see what this promotion will become as it gets further along.
Oh yeah.
Um,
No,
you know
great
this.
stuff.
Yep, yep.
Now, okay, so kind of round stuff off. I got my two categories here. One's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me some quick thoughts on them,
Mhm.
and I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. So each of these people, I think around Veterans Day, we've all seen the lists of pro wrestlers that have been in the military.
Mhm.
Each of these people on that list.
Okay.
So I give you the name, first thought that pops into your head.
Okay.
Well, first guy, a guy that I've actually met on a couple of occasions, and absolute love him.
Mhm.
Current TNA superstar, Macklin.
I'm not too familiar with him. I've seen a few of his matches. He, he's solid for sure.
I got a memory of him that I love to tell when he was in a match at Revolver,
Mhm.
and I'm on the other end of the venue, and all of a sudden it was like a multi-person match, chaos everywhere, and all of a sudden I hear some. It sounded as loud as like a damn gunshot, and then I'm
Mhm.
like, later on, I think we might have even been on the way home, see videos. It was literally him swinging half a door at a guy.
I don't doubt. Dude's a beast for sure.
Oh yeah, I he's even done a short little video for the YouTube channel for me. So
Oh, nice.
incredibly grateful for him. I've actually had the opportunity to meet both him and his wife, different occasions, but I've met them both.
Mhm.
L- Lovely couple. Lovely couple. Now, next up, a guy that I have not been able to meet, but definitely wouldn't mind it. The almighty Bobby Lashley.
I missed an opportunity to meet Bobby Lashley at a convention several years ago, and you could definitely tell the discipline he carries, in the ring, in his craft. That's something. It would have been interesting to have served with him for sure.
Oh, for sure. Now, another guy that definitely one of my favorites, being the tag team wrestler fan that I am. And funny enough, I've actually had a former co-host of the podcast that he used to run on the show. But I think the best way to introduce this guy would be oh, you didn't know?
Yep.
Road Dog.
Jesse James. So funny story about him. My wife and I were at a WW the Raw where the Shield broke up. We were at that show,
Oh,
and
nice.
we stayed in the same hotel that a lot of them were. Seth
Oh, wow,
Rollins.
nice. Nice.
They were running Seth Rollins out of the hotel, putting him somewhere because if you recall,
Hey,
oh yeah, people were pissed. But no, so we got in the elevator, go to our room, and lo and behold, there is Road Dogg in the
no
elevator.
kidding. Wow.
Coolest dude, very respectful. You hear some weird things that he supposedly was in. I didn't know that. He asked, "Did we enjoy the show?" I was like, "Yeah, we did." And he was really, really cool. So
He's fully acknowledged some of the not so great parts of his
mhm,
past, but man, the guy has done a lot to, make better, make improvements in his life,
absolutely.
and all the respect in the world for him. I know before he actually got rehired, I had 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 some conversation with him about trying to get him on this show, but then
Oh,
he got rehired by WWE, and well,
yeah,
as much as I know they got their procedures and
yeah,
stuff for
I'm sure.
getting people on and all that stuff and wanting the you know the big channels, which I mean I'm not in that small, but I'm not like Chris Van Vliet or nothing, but
Right.
like good lord, I'd love to get to that point, but man, Road Dog,
he
oh
was
man,
he was an all he was very awesome, very, very nice guy. And I have to say, he does not get a lot of credit that he should. Um,
very entertaining individual when he's out there and you let him
yep.
be him.
That DX Hall of Fame speech, man,
Oh yeah.
by far my favorite out of all of them.
Oh yeah. Oh god, and the whole thing with his partner in
Yeah, Billy Gunn,
the
yeah.
Billy got the whole thing about teasing him.
Yep.
about being in the other company and that what are they gonna do? Fire me?
Right.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
great stuff.
I think he was a
Now,
Marine, if I remember right.
hmm?
He was a Marine, I do believe.
Yes, well, yeah, no.
I think he was a Marine.
Yeah,
Yeah, almost
Marine.
certain it
I
was.
was like, for some reason, I don't know where my head was going. It's fuck the amount of shit that I have to watch for the show. Some stuff I have brain farts every once in a while. I get
Yeah.
just like total brain fart, and then I start talking in circles. And all right. Anyways, last but not least, here a guy, a multi-time tag champion, Montez Ford, part of the Street Profits.
Dude is wow. He's got they need to book him better, honestly. The man is the way he carries himself. I've seen some interviews here and there with him. I don't need to speak on his athletic ability. It's insane.
Yeah.
Uh, but how he carries himself as veterans, we could pick up on that, and you could feel that, you could see that. Very respectful. People want to say, he's only Bianca's husband. The dude can go. I think they need to give him a damn good push. He deserves it, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. No, if God forbid his tag partner got injured and he had to do a singles run,
Oh, he'd be awesome.
give him the
Yeah,
fucking reins and let him friggin' go.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, God forbid, we don't want any injuries happening to anybody.
Right.
Professional wrestling, that shit happens.
Yep.
Now, I got some random questions, some wrestling related, some not, some nothing really to do with anything we've talked about yet. So
All right.
that's the way it is. So I give you the question first, thoughts that pop into your head.
Okay.
Now, I kind of had to reword this, kind of revamp this one a little bit because, still relatively young in your career,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not a whole lot to choose from here. So, craziest slash favorite in ring moment for you so far?
So one of my first big match, if you will, and it went horribly as a rookie still learning. But I was in a fatal four-way tag team match uh, for the FWF Tag Team Championships, and at the time the champions were uh, Congo Kong and Kane Ratana, and Kong as big as that man. I remember watching him the first Monsters Ball match, him and Abyss. I
Oh, yeah.
watched that, and so I was in awe of this man because this is my first guy who's been to the top, relatively speaking, and taking his flipping elbow, like he flips off the. That was probably the coolest thing that's ever happened. Seeing a guy that size in
Dude,
person to
yeah.
do that. He was awesome. He was awesome. He taught me some stuff that night that I'm glad that he did, and that was probably the craziest and funnest thing for sure.
Yeah, that would definitely be right up there for anybody getting in that situation. I know, good Lord, like I said, I've seen some crazy stuff. I remember my first ever death match that I went to see. It was right after a multi-person Monsters Ball match where they're clearing out some of the ring and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Well, one of the guys, Jake Christ, came in and just said, "Fuck that, leave it, let's go." It's like stuff already all
Uh-huh.
spread throughout the ring. Ended up ending the match by them taking 4 folding chairs, bridging 2 panes of glass, and then his manager at the time comes in, pulls out a thing of lighter fluid, and they light the glass on fire.
Oh. Ouch.
Yep.
Kudos to
That
those
was
guys. I couldn't do it. I'll be honest. I'm a tough guy, but that mm-mm.
no.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, no. Table maybe,
Oh yeah.
maybe table, but yeah, no glass and well, I mean even glass. I mean, I if I'm wearing a shirt,
Yeah.
but even then, yeah. But great memories.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a lot about military memories. Is there one memory in particular, like from like a deployment story or something that you look back on kind of fondly that you can laugh about or just something cool that happened?
It wasn't so. My first sergeant that I had in my unit, his name was First Sergeant Bilodeau. The man was he was. I want you to picture John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and Mark Calloway
Mm.
in one person. This man, he commanded respect in a way that you just did. The dude had been enlisted. He enlisted in the military just on the outer edge of Vietnam. Like he
Mm.
hardcore. And he, if it wasn't for him and his own way taking me under his wing, I wouldn't have been the type of soldier that I was. I wouldn't have the witherall to really be tough when it's time to be tough. Not just say it, but actually be it. The man was the embodiment of it. One of the things that I remember most is, in our unit, when it's typical, if you're the new guy, you're gonna come in, you're buying everyone beer. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
And first sergeant was always part of that. But he was a very hard but soft spoken man. Like and we were at this bar. Now Fort Leonard Wood's the middle of nowhere. So we went to St. Robert, I do, if I remember right. Went to this bar and we're all, we order our drinks and he goes up to the bar for something. I don't even remember. Turns around and bumps into a couple of Marines. Uh, and he had his beer and it got on his Marine, of course, puffing his chest out and whatever, being doing what Marines do, whatever. So being the fact that we're loyal soldiers, we're like, okay, this is gonna be an Army Marine fight. Here we go. Oh no. I'm not sure what was said because first sergeant he wouldn't talk about it. Like he put the bear down. The moment that he put the beer down, he slugged this dude right in the face. They looked at the other guy, said, "Do you want to kiss too?" And then that was it. Like he did not. The other Marine was like, "Nope," knocked the other Marine out clean. Came back and like it was nothing. Like didn't talk about it because I want to hear it. Drinking beer and I had a lot of respect when he passed in 2020
Oh.
and when he passed, yeah, he was old like this, but God had a tough time bringing him to heaven. I'm telling you right now. But when he died, his viewing, he had over 400 people show up for his viewing. For his procession, over 300. The
Nice.
man gave to his community. It wasn't about like he was very soft, but he was all about helping his fellow Americans, and that's what he did up until he got sick and just couldn't physically do it. So that was my favorite by far.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely something. I know, good Lord, I have my fair share of military drinking stories. Oh God, going and going out in town and then being back to the ship just in time to put the uniform on and get right to work. And
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, we had a situation where we had a run with the battalion commander. Like, so,
oh,
and so first sergeant was like, you guys are going to don't be idiots, you know? So one guy showed up from weekend leave, still hungover, shows up in formation, in garb, spit in his mouth, like, or chew in his mouth and just was a hot mess. Joe saw or first sergeant saw this, and that night he went. It's we're gonna go on another run, following day. He went to the PX and bought every brand of chewing tobacco they had
Oh,
on the shelf, put it in a bag, and made him have this in his mouth and said, "We're running 5 miles today, and if you spit, your ass is mine." Like didn't, and yeah,
oh, oh God. I oh, that's something. Like, oh man.
I was chewing. I was chewing at that time. I quit. Like right
No,
after I
I
quit.
I I I did a little bit, but yeah, no, I definitely stopped. Although me, when I stopped, I ran out when we were on deployment, and I just didn't feel like going. I didn't feel like going and trying to find more when we finally got to land. So I was just like, you know what,
I don't
screw it.
even want to. I don't even want to think about being on that boat for 6 months, man.
Oh God, whew. That's a whole that's stuff for a whole nother episode.
Yes.
But I remember, oh God, being in Bahrain and going picture for picture with British Navy. Yeah, that was something else. Like, I don't know if the Navy still does this, but they were at the time when I was deployed, every foreign port we hit, they had it to where when you got back to the ship, they breathalyzed you. And that night, I definitely wasn't going to pass. But when we got back to the ship, we were in the back of the line, and the group I was with just said, "Dude, just go. We will sign you back in. Go." So I just stumbled back to my rack and went to sleep.
Oh man, you stay on the boat? Did you guys go to Thailand, Pattaya Beach, Thailand? Did you go?
We went to Phuket.
Okay.
We all called it "fuck it."
Oh yeah. I've not been there, but I know of it. A lot of my naval friends.
So yeah, we definitely. I had a friend that got a hotel out in town that had uh, the the back door to their hotel room had steps right into the pool, right up
Mm.
to a swim up bar.
I
And
think I know which hotel you're talking about from just that description from
yep,
what's been told to me.
oh man, and having something out of a hollowed out pineapple just sitting that down was something. And then the other part, a lot of Navy people that definitely a memory that crossing the equator,
Mm-hmm.
didn't find out we were doing it until like the day before.
Jesus.
That was something else. A
Wow.
little a little tamed down from some of the older days of it, but it was fun. I had fun with it because my dad had always asked me because he had heard about it. So like,
Yeah.
oh dude, you know when you're gonna be able to do that? Then the moment I heard we got told you don't have to do it, I'm like, there is no way you're gonna tell me I get the chance to do that and that I'm gonna not do it. No, no, I'm doing it. Oh,
Oh, that's
great,
awesome.
great stuff.
Yes.
And then some crazy stuff like being in Bahrain and having to shut down the ship because of like car bombs going off out in town. And we were, I was in the Middle East when the whole Arab Spring thing started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts. All right, now that we're off that tangent, another military related thing, anyways. Favorite military related movie?
Oh God. I would have to go with either Full Metal Jacket,
That's classic.
yeah, or Oh gosh, Full Metal Jacket or Saving Private Ryan.
That two classics, two
Hmm.
that are definitely on my list. Another one that I kind of have fondly because going gives me a memory back to boot camp, but I'm wanting to say was We Were Soldiers,
Yes, that's a good one.
and
Yes.
it had a what was it, Sam Elliott, where they were walking, they were during training, and somebody walks by and was like, uh, "Good morning, Sergeant Major. Good morning, sir." And he's like, "How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?"
Sounds about right.
That one, I kid you not, Navy boot camp. We were marching, and they had, you if you're individual going by a division, have to greet the petty officer as you're walking or as you're running by. You definitely don't want to be walking by, but I one walked going by said, "Good morning, petty officer." Not that Sam Elliott's words exactly, but he literally looks over at the guy, is like, "Is it?"
Yeah.
It took everything in me not to laugh my ass off because it made me think of that Sam Elliott thing.
We were not allowed to say good morning to drill sergeant in boot camp because if we did, he goes, "Which one of you got laid? Who snuck out? Who did this?" Like, oh my god, we would get smoked for saying good morning, so it wasn't allowed.
No, yeah. Oh, oh, god dang, great stuff. All right. Now, with the name of a show like I have to ask this one. Favorite drink, alcoholic, otherwise, or both if you want.
My go-to, honestly, good old Jack and Coke.
Eh, can't complain there. I like to add a grenadine in there and tastes
Yeah,
like Jack and Cherry Coke.
yeah, yeah. No,
Delicious.
I'm a whiskey guy. And the thing is, like, I don't care for bougie whiskeys. I really don't. You know, I toured the Jack Daniel's distillery, had a great time. I was on some medication, so I went out to drink at that point. But I made sure I put my head right in the vats, because I because Jack Daniel. Oh man, but yeah. So Jack and Coke is something that I is a go to. I have a tradition at Thanksgiving. I always do a shot of Winter Jack. That's a tradition that me and a friend of mine had started when I came back from the service actually, and it's just something that stuck. So
Hey, got nothing wrong with that. I know me, when it comes to liquor, I'm more of a whiskey tequila guy myself.
mhm.
I love a good margarita just about much as anybody.
Yeah, I quit
Outside,
drinking. I quit
hmm?
drinking tequila. I quit drinking tequila because yeah, tequila does make your clothes fall off. I don't. That song is absolutely.
You ain't careful, it can do some damage,
Oh
especially
yeah, I quit because of
especially
that.
the tequila that I like. This shit's so damn smooth. You put that stuff in a margarita, you barely tell there's any damn alcohol in it.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to send you some. But my mom makes this. We call it Mama Cat's apple pie.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yep. You're out to give me your address. I'll figure out a way to get it to you. But
oh
no,
yeah.
it's literally. So what we do is we take 190 proof Everclear, uh, apple cider, 100% apple cider, 100% apple juice, some sugar, and some cinnamon, and we put it together. We cook it over the stove to a slow boil.
Oh.
Yeah, uh, this stuff is one of those drinks that you're drinking like I don't taste the Everclear. It's not there. You're lying until you're like,
Until you've
oh
had a
gosh.
couple of them and then you're on
I
the floor.
I had a coworker. I gave her some, and she's like, I took a sip of it, and I didn't think there was no Everclear. I tasted none because you don't taste it. You don't taste this, and she's like, oh. I got up from my damn chair and about fell over. It's like, yes, ma'am. You are
Yep,
welcome.
yep. Oh man, that sounds like stuff. Oh man, I know I could have some fun with that.
I'm gonna have to get that to you. Yeah, you'll love
Oh
it.
yeah, no, we,
And
we
you can
can
warm
make
this stuff up and you can put it on freaking ice cream, dude. I've done it. It's awesome.
Giving me ideas. All right. Now, last but not least, here, last question I got. Now, this one, again, kind of have to reword it a little bit.
Okay.
But what is the best advice that you've been given as far as like your wrestling career so far?
Be real. And what I mean by that, and what was told to me by guys, is be who you are. Too many wrestlers that I was told about, and as I'm seeing, what's the product today? It's a lot of flips. It's a lot, and great. I can't do a backflip to save my life.
Oh
You're lucky if
God,
I.
no.
You're lucky I can do a cartwheel without spiking myself, right? So, um, but be real. So when I throw a punch and the way I train and how I throw, I go back to the 80s, and where when I'm hitting you, I'm going to make it, it's going to look like I'm just blasting you, right? Um, the smash mouth technical.
Bruiser Brody-esque.
Yes, to me, I always like to say I am a hybrid of like Chris Benoit and Bret Hart mixed with Low Key and Steve Blackman. Um, and that's kind of how I like to view people I try to portray in my style. But Be Real was one of them. Don't do something that does not make sense, and make sure that it not only entertains but is true to you, right? So that's kind of the biggest advice. I'm 5'7", man. I'm 205 pounds, and I can throw. If I wanted to throw somebody, I could throw somebody, but it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
No, make it be you. Make it
Mm-hmm.
make sense, because
Yep.
yeah, you're not going to be one of the smaller guys tossing people around like you're freaking
Andre the Giant. Yeah.
Paul White or
Yeah.
freaking Andre the Giant.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, like that great advice right there, because I know when I try to get into commentary, I only very limited on it that I've been able to do so far. But you know, I'm that I bring the same energy that I would bring if I were just sitting out in the crowd. I want to be my
Mm-hmm.
old damn goofball self that you're getting the sense of it right now.
Yep.
But like I'll be like the Pat McAfee of my damn commentary team. Like I kid you not. The time that I got to do it, I got my commentary partner laughing so hard on a couple of occasions he had to stop. He had to stop talking. Like they were talking about the second show for the promotion. And he was like, sounds like a solid second show. And I'm like, it wasn't this much of a pause, but I'm like, oh God. You just walked right into this one. But without missing a beat, I just said, yeah, because nobody likes a runny number 2. And he's just like, you.
Just stop.
And then we had a third person with us, and him and them, where they were talking about, who's doing some move better.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know who could do that move better. And they're like, who? Your mom. And they just like, oh God,
Just stop. You're
yeah.
done.
I'm like, I'm that guy, because in the crowd, I will purposely try to find a time to say some just off the wall shit
Mm-hmm.
to get somebody to crack. Like I make it my mission to make somebody to crack.
That's kind of what I do in my shoot job. I'm a school bus driver. So I'll say something random to these kids, and they're like, wait, what?
Oh man, I've gotten some pretty damn good ones. I
Mm.
got Mike Bennett one time. He'll even admit it, because It was right after the whole Undisputed Kingdom was really getting going,
Right.
and Roderick Strong would yell out, Adam! Well, during his match, the crowd had died down just enough, and I yelled it out, and you could see him looking down and swear like he was like, "You son of a bitch."
I was at a battle royal not back in November and at WPW, and I got tossed out, and I took the old thing that I heard. It was a story about Owen Hart that he would randomly say just weird things in the middle of a match. So I get tossed out, I land, and I'm looking at one of the fans. I'm like, "Oh my shank!" I just that was my tribute to Owen Hart, But yeah,
Oh, oh God, yeah. Oh, some great stuff. Oh
oh
man,
man.
great stuff. Well, that is about all I have. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Where can people find you social media wise so they can keep their eye on you?
So I have a Facebook page and Instagram, Battleborn Michael Draven. I'm actually in the process of starting my own YouTube channel. I am not techno savvy to save my life. I mean, I had a hard time getting on Zoom for goodness sake. So, you know, so YouTube. I am also doing a TikTok. That's a good thing. I got a lot of teenage nieces and nephews. They understand that stuff. Um, and then if you're ever in the Warsaw, Indiana, Danville, uh, Fort Wayne area, and I'm trying to expand. Look up Warrior Pro Wrestling. Look up Functified Wrestling Federation, Midwest Premier Wrestling, and hopefully others. And if it's okay, I'd like to take a quick moment to say I
Oh
want
yeah.
to say thank you to the guys who have taken me under their wing. Jake Oman, Mr. International, Idle Hines, Tank Perkins, Cletus Farmer, David Knight, Simon Socrates, Donnie Gunner. Without those guys, Alex Race, without those guys, I wouldn't probably be where I'm at right now. I don't think I would have had the mental fortitude to continue. Physically, I surprised myself at how far I could go, but these guys have really helped me and are continuing to do so. So I'm looking forward to, you know, working with them even further. So,
Oh
and
yeah.
another piece of advice: you're never too young to start something new. You
Hey,
don't need to
DDP
have
got
you
a
don't
late start.
yeah, you don't need to have a life-changing event like cancer or death in a family or something. Yeah, there's this whole thing where they say, well, you've only got one life to live. That is not true. You live every day. You get one death, but you get to wake up. If you're lucky and you get to wake up every day, you have that chance to live every day, which is why I started pro wrestling at 43 years old. So, but all I can tell you and tell all my friends and family and fans, keep watching. 2026 is going to be a very good year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Look forward to it. All right. My issue with this fucking button again. I keep on telling you that
You should get one of those
where's
little hand things.